Back for Twin Spires in the barn of Brad Cox, who is going to saddle a couple of likely favorites tomorrow night on the Downs After Dark program. One for certain is Saudi Crown, who's looking for a win in the Ack Ack Breeders' Cup, winning you're in. Brad, you sent Saudi Crown to Saudi Arabia for the Saudi Cup, where he ran an unbelievably good race and lost kind of a tough decision late to a couple of deep closers after he'd done all the hard work. How's he doing coming out of the Cowboy Jones at Ellis and coming into this Ack Ack?
Really good. This has kind of been the plan the whole time, was to, once he came back from Dubai, we freshened him up. We got him checked out. It was amazing. We gave him just 45 days off, brought him back, got himself ready. Just wanted to give him a spot where he felt like he would kind of tower over the competition. Honestly, I didn't think he did on paper. I thought the Cowboy Jones was actually a really good race. He set a hot pace, finished up well, and I think he got a good bit out of it. He's trained well since, and this has kind of been the plan all along, is to this race and then hopefully Breeders' Cup Mile.
I mean, from looking at the overnight, I remember thinking to myself, how did they get 10 horses to run against him in the Cowboy Jones? It was not expected, right?
No, and there was some pace, on paper there was some pace. So, he overcome it. It was, like I said, a good race. He held on, and, I think he's a better horse for it. Got a lot out of it, and here we are, back Winter Mile, and, we'll see. This obviously the stepping stone toward the Breeders' Cup.
That was going to be my next question, one turn versus two. So there's going to be a couple horses come out tomorrow night, so it should be a field of 5 with Big Blue Line and Mufasa running elsewhere in other races they were entered in. He looks to be the controlling speed. Tell me a little bit about him being the controlling speed at one turn versus 2 turns and what really you think he might prefer.
He's good at both. He performed awfully well in the Jim Dandy last year, PA Derby. Obviously, I wouldn't use the word cut back. Well, I guess he can't cut back from a 2-turn mile and a quarter to the mile and an eighth there in Saudi, but he had a mile and a 16th race prior to that he won handily there at Fairgrounds. So, look, he's good around both. I'm not sure he's better around one as opposed to the other. I feel confident running him tomorrow night, and I'd feel confident as long as everything goes well, running him a 2-turn mile there at Del Mar, I should say. But he's a consistent horse. I think he does need to break well regardless where he runs and put himself in the race, and he always shows up.
Obviously the weather is less than stellar, but given the way he ran the Jim Dandy and the Pennsylvania Derby that you just mentioned, no concern there.
I think he definitely can handle a wet track, and he's not a real big heavy horse, so therefore I think he gets through it a little bit easier than some of the bigger, heavier horses.
Now, speaking of horses, I think that are a bit bigger and heavier, Hit Show looks like, and I'm no physicality expert, but he's a bit bigger, but he's a horse that you're going to have in the Lukas Classic tomorrow night, kind of working his way back into top form after a pretty rigorous first half of his 3-year-old campaign.
Yeah, we threw a lot at him last year as a 3-year-old, and he responded very well. I mean, it's a lot of good races. I think he's 4th in the Belmont, 5th in the Derby. Just maybe a cup below the top group there, but, was able to win the Withers. Ran a really good race in the Oklahoma Derby. Even though he was 6, he ran a huge number in the race. At that point, we just thought it had been a long year, deserved a break. He came back. He was doing training amazing. He ran really well here off the layoff at Churchill. It kind of mapped out a plan to get him to Cornhusker and then the Jockey Club Gold Cup, and he just didn't really run for us quite. He did not perform at Prairie Meadows the way we were expecting. Thought we'd back up, ran him back in West Virginia. Ran a big race, and then here we are. I do think he likes Churchill. He's not run here very many times. He didn't run well here as a 2-year-old. I think he was just learning, still trying to figure things out. But he ran well here in the spring. And if a repeat of that race, I think puts him right there.
Do you think that could potentially put him on the road to the Breeders' Cup if he were to run at that level?
Ultimately it'd be up to the ownership group. A new ownership group took over about a month ago, and we would talk it over with them. Hopefully we will have that conversation after tomorrow night.
Be a good problem to have for sure. Brad, good luck tomorrow night with both Hit Show and Saudi Crown on the Downs After Dark program right here at Churchill Downs.